It's Kringle time. Sit back, relax. It's time to dive into a world of laughter and learning with the Kringle brothers, reminding us that we are better together.
Hey!
You know what today is? It's Wednesday and it's Kringle
Wednesday,
time.
Kringle time. Welcome, everybody. Glad that you made the jump with us. So good to see you all.
So much activity going on. I mean, you got School of Santas going on in Branson. You have us here, and I heard your sweetie just was in the hospital.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. She had her hip replaced. And so that was Monday. We had to spend the night. My wife doesn't come out of anesthesia very well. She only has one kidney. She had stage 4 cancer, and she lost her kidney and renal gland, and very blessed to have her still with me, you know. But because
We love you, Linda.
and she just comes out of it. So it's a very slow. She's like, man, is slow.
That's a good Steve Gillum impersonation right there.
Hey, look at that. David's with us, and Marty's here.
Oh yeah, we have some really good people that follow us. Santa Doug, Sal, Nathan,
Bruce is here. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everyone.
Sue's here. Oh my goodness, it's so glad to have you with us all, and greetings to those if you're watching from Branson. I'm glad that you all could be here. Hello, Jenny. How are you?
Yes.
Well, you know what, Michael? Today it's a good topic. You know, we always have these issues when we're out on a gig that, oh my gosh, I busted a button on my pants, or
yeah,
I'm on my way to a gig and my car won't start. Did that ever happen to you?
Oh my, talk about emergencies and things that have happened to me. You know, so we want to talk about the emergency list and your prop checklist, making sure you're ready, because the title show is Ready or Not, Here It Comes.
It sounds like a Boy Scout thing. What, isn't it 3 fingers? I don't know.
3? I don't know.
I played hockey. I was never a Boy Scout.
There's other shows that are going through my head right now, but I probably shouldn't say any names.
No, but it's really important though, because you know, a lot of us as a Christmas performer, we're always in a car or always traveling to go somewhere that is nowhere near a house, and to have a checklist not of just props but of personal items, emergency items, because again, our job is usually during the winter months, so we never know. In our, given our area, a blizzard can come off a lake really quickly, and next thing you know is it's a whiteout condition. And
especially in my area. Yeah, that's like big. But hey, Blake's on, and AJ from Bronson. Yeah. And Bill's here.
And Bruce pointed out Boy Scout is 3 fingers, Cub Scout's only 2. That's because Cub Scout got little hands.
Wait, you got your tiny hands that I bought you?
Oh, not with my handy right now, but it could be. Anyway, no. But you know what, Michael?
All right, back to the topic area about emergencies and making sure we're ready.
But before you came on,
coming, yeah.
But before you came on, when you and I were talking, didn't you break like your glasses right before you were about to go on?
Oh my, you know, I mean, it's like one of those area that I live in, Michigan, you know, I mean, everything is a piece down the road. You know, I'm driving. To drive an hour is a normal gig. You know, a half an hour is like going to the neighbor's house, you know. And so, but I had a 9 and 10 News, northern television station. You know, for us, they were doing a special recording, and I'm coming to the driveway, and I turn and my glasses broke. Now my glasses are more than a prop for me. I mean, they're a script. I mean, I need them to be able to read. And so I knew I had parts to read off of the teleprompter, right? You know, for on the news and stuff. And I'm going, so what was awesome, my daughter, you know, who's military, she's a master sergeant in the Air Force, so she's very one to make sure things are very prepped, you know, and in emergencies, and prepped and always thinking ahead. She gave me, let me pull the kit out, this kit. Now, in this kit that I have, that I keep it in my emergency bag, um, she had in here sewing kit, bobby pins and hairpins and deodorant sticks and all the things that are just a backup plan. And then we can go through that full list a little bit later. But in here it was super glue, and I literally went to my emergency bag in the back of the car because I keep one bag in the car constantly. I mean, so once I have that full of things that we'll share, I keep that in the car. Just like they'll tell you in the news, um, make sure that you keep a blanket in the car, for weather, and make sure you have water in the car, some type of snack, jumper cables, all of the emergency stuff, because in Michigan you can end up in a ditch really easy when the weather is just right, when the road conditions. So all of that I pulled the super glue out of the bag, I put a couple drops, I fixed my glasses, and I went in and had a phenomenal interview for 9 to 10 News. But that was all because I had an emergency plan backup. So that was one thing happening. So how about you? Have you ever had an emergency situation?
Well, like I was saying, we're knocking on wood, knocking on anything that I can to make sure. The closest thing I could probably think of from an emergency standpoint is in one of my earlier suits, the snap, actually the threading broke on it, and it was the lower one. So every time I would take pictures, it would be like the jacket would come open, and it didn't really lay the correct way
Right.
to actually take a good picture. So again, by having a suit or a sewing kit, it can help remedy that. But before I grew all this and decided to go white and become what do they call a bleach baby? Um, I do have like designer wigs and beard sets as well. So another thing that I would have to take in precaution and part of an emergency kit when doing a gig is to have extra spirit gum or adhesive, wig tape,
Right.
scissors, even crepe hair and things of that, just so anything that could happen, I was able to basically fix it and maintain a top-notch performance. So again,
Yeah.
family, friends, this is what this show's all about.
Yeah.
It's
And I've been
we're
snowed in, where I
oh yeah.
literally was on a gig and traveled, and I was out it took 4 days to get home, and working at the Great Wolf Lodge up in Traverse City, on our maps here, way up in this area, you know, um, it was, I was snowed in. And so I have it in part of my contract that if the inclement weather is really bad, that they'll comp me a room to stay there. So that way I can come in and I can do my job for them. And so I literally had 3 days last year where I was snowed in for them. And that was the only way I stayed, because there's no way I could get home. It was just, yeah.
But one of the things we were talking about too, Michael, is we're talking about these kits, and it's not just to have like just one massive one. Yeah, it's a point of having multiple ones. I mean, for those Christmas performers who have to take medication,
Right.
prescription medication, and even over the counter medication, Tylenol, Advil, Imodium, anything like this, you want to keep.
Oh my! It made me think of Stephen Gillam's story.
Oh,
Don't
with
drink the
sheets.
warm milk. That's an emergency.
That is an emergency, and thank
You-
goodness Sheets was there. We needed it. For those that don't know that story, you may want to talk to Steve because there's no one that tells it better. And by
Oh
the way,
my
he's
God.
joining us tonight.
You would love that story. Don't drink the warm milk, on
And eat
Christmas
all the
Eve,
cookies.
because you would need that Imodium AD really bad.
But the thing I was just trying to get to is you want to have one that you could carry with you inside a gig. We both work Great Wolf Lodges, so it's always good to have that stuff there. Plus, makeup, hair care products, or anything to maintain the quality of your Christmas performer portrayal. But then again, you also want to have additional things too, where you're not walking in carrying basically a chest or drawer set with you.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, but again, we're talking backups for props such as batteries.
Well, here, let me
chargers.
pull up. I've made, just let you know, I've typed everything up that I use. So in other words, I have one list here. This is my emergency bag and things that I keep in my car that I pack and get ready and I put in the car, and I have that list. Now, I'll give you this list tonight so you can have it. I'm going to read some stuff off of it. And then I also have another 3-page, right, list of all my props and how I organize my props to make sure they're ready. Because once my season gets started, it's really difficult, to come back home. So it's easier to have everything set up ahead of time, grab the bag, and then go do my performance. So, yeah, should we want to do checklist first, or we got a good emergency list first? Which one would you like to do, Michael?
Well, why don't we go ahead and do the emergency list too? Because I want everybody to be prepared, or at least start actually thinking about being prepared as we're getting ready to. Because if you think about it, we only have 5 more months before actually about 3.5 months before the season gets started.
Well, I have gigs this weekend. Yeah.
Well, you have gigs this weekend, and I also know you go to New York in September too. So,
yeah. So let me just. So when I talk about emergency, at Menards, I just picked up a tote, right, and this stays in my car. So in this tote, things that I keep in here constantly is, I got toe straps. I've got boot cuffs. Now I keep multiple pairs of boot cuffs because, at least in Michigan, the roads are horrible, right? All wet and slushy, and getting in and out of the car.
Or just salt, just with salt and everything.
Oh, they get horrid. And so I changing my boot cuffs a lot. I've got in here my personal bag. So in this bag is a pair of underwear and a t-shirt and socks and, everything that I would need at least to take my shower, get cleaned up, and then have a clean change. Batteries, screwdrivers, plugs, and I keep, this one's come in handy a few times too. This is a red laundry bag that I bought, just a nylon bag. You would buy big old bag for camping. Very inexpensive, but I use this as a backup toy bag. How many times have you been to a gig, and you have a bag and saying, well, everything will fit in a grocery bag or whatever, and then you get there and you find out that they've got multiples. And so I'll put gifts and stuff into my backup bag that I have to do. Terry cloths and towels, extra pairs of gloves, so all of those things, this bag stays in the car. That doesn't go anywhere else. That was just strictly, that's basically if I get caught snowed in,
So
I know some people don't have to worry about that, but.
So for you, Michael, that right there, that kit that you just showed us is more or less for like costumes and personal items in case you got snowed in or had to spend a night somewhere.
Yep, that's right. And then the other bag that I showed you, then I have a personal gig bag that I pack for performances. That's this bag. So this is just a inexpensive, tool bag that I picked up. And in this, I'll keep a bag with all of my makeup in it. You know what I mean? So that way, when I'll take this in before the performance for my show, here's all the makeup. Here's all of the backup stuff just in case I need it. Another pair of gloves, a lint roller, wipes, makeup remover, puppy pads.
Definitely have to have the puppy pads.
The puppy pad, my wife made a case for it that I slide it in, and I keep that next to my chair because just in case, you see that kid coming up diaper wise or whatever, if I have any inkling that this is not a good situation, I'll put that puppy bag over it to save my suit, which is a good thing. So Band-Aids and stuff. So that's all personal stuff. I'll keep that in that personal list. So just stuff that I'll get: chapstick, toothpaste, toothbrush, breath mints, deodorant, hand lotion, lens wipes, tweezers, hand sanitizer, motion ease. Sometimes you get,
motion sickness.
You get motion sickness stuff. A protein bar in case I get to a spray. I keep it. Tea, a couple bags of throat coat tea. I love the throat coat tea. In other words, with all the speaking and all of the stuff that we do, to keep my throat moist in hand, is a good thing. And that tea I find works really well for me. Hand warmers, boot warmers, for parades and backups. My wife dips into that emergency stuff more than I do. Especially when we're outside, bobby pins, safety pins. I was doing a gig last season up in Sault Ste. Marie, right at the bridge at the college up there, and the band that I was hired to perform with, to be the guest vocalist, to come in as Santa and sing with them. Something happened to one of their costumes, and I had bobby pins, and I had, the safety pins, and they borrowed, "Never fear, Santa's here." And they would borrow some of those pins.
You make a good point though, Michael. By having these emergency kits and actually being prepared, you never stop a show. Whether you have another Christmas performer working with you, or even from a photographer standpoint, by you actually being prepared, you are able to basically keep everything going and nothing ever gets sent back. It's like you just said, a bobby pin was necessary because of a costume adjustment there. Or, you have an issue with a dog or a child wetting your pants, by having a backup doing that.
Do I dare say costume malfunction?
Yes, yeah. You can say costume malfunction. I mean, it's all over the Super Bowl, so why can't we say it? Oh, we got so many great comments too. But I'm trying to think at this point here is, I know one of the things that you carry with you that's really interesting is your backup for power.
Oh yeah, let me grab that real quick. I use this multiple things. I'll unplug the power. I just have a Westinghouse power cell, and what's nice with it, the adapter on it, I have a regular AC plug in it, and it could be a light also. You can turn it on, but so I can charge up. I've got USB ports on here. I've got C and US 1 and USB 2. And so, and there's DC outputs on here. And so in other words, this is multiple functions. So I literally, I'll take this on the sleigh for our parade at night that we have, and all of the LED lights and stuff that I have all over the sleigh. I just plug it into the power unit here, and this will have enough power with that. Charges up my phone, all of the stuff like from Courtney's Elves, and all of those things to make sure that they're ready. And so the power cell, this is a good gig. And you know what? I've had this, for like 4 years now, and I'm sure they probably have stronger ones, and technology's improved and changed, but just finding a power cell, camping supply stuff, you can get it, and I just keep that charged up. So
see, the thing I purchased is somewhat similar to that. It's called a Halo, HALO. But the nice thing with it is, not only does it have like the Edison plugs to charge like a computer or work a computer, and the USB plugs, it also acts as an air pump in case I have to fill air into the tires. Right. And it has jumper cables, so I can actually jump start my car from it as well too.
All right, let's do this. Everyone out there, get your cameras ready.
Oh, you're going to show these right now?
Well, we'll do this. Since I just talked about the emergency list, let me there.
So Sue, let
me do this. Wait, what are you doing? Take that off so that way they can get a better era. Take that off. So you take your camera.
Sue, this is something that you wanted to know, is by utilizing this QR code and take your camera, you'll be able to go to the document and then save it to your phone. And then this way you'll be able to print it up at another time. And why people are actually taking the time to go ahead and do this, I'm just going to read some of the comments here. Russell Hurd, safety pins save you from having a wardrobe malfunction. We also just, what is this? Just got a bag this year from Bubba Claus for sale, and getting good ideas to put in it. Let's see here. Yes, Russell, we did get some of these ideas from Steve, but it's also just good practice to maintain this, to actually make sure you're always at your best.
Yeah,
Let's see here.
the other thing that I guess I really like about going to the list and having these things in the car, as an emergency end of it, I get a peace of mind. I have a situation where, I can perseverate over different things. Things aren't exactly the way I'd like them to be. I want to make sure, I'm dressed to the best of my ability. Everything's straight, everything's clean, lints off. I want to come and bring my best foot forward. So at least having these things, even if I don't use them, it gives me a peace of mind, which then means I go into my performance a whole lot better and stronger than if I'm perseverating over the situation.
Okay, what I'm going to say, because it looks like there's a couple people that said Tammy Weaver said she's on her phone right now and the words are in front of it, so she's having a problem getting the QR code. So what I can do for everybody as well is I can go ahead and show this. If you're having a problem utilizing the QR code, just go ahead and send us an email, and then we can even email you the PDF document as well.
Yeah, we do that for you.
And then this way, everybody has an opportunity to get these. The QR code is a valuable resource to use. But yes, so this is just an alternate idea here. So again, if you need this email to you, use kringlebrothers2@gmail.com. And then what I'm going to do is take this down. We'll bring it up later on in the show in case you need it again.
Yay, Gary says the QR works. Yay.
All right. That's what we like to hear, Gary. Thank you so much.
And then I have another list that we'll post up in a little bit. But before we get into that section, Michael, why don't we go ahead and do a thank you for our people who help us out?
Oh, our contributors. Yeah, that'd be great. Why don't we do that, Michael? Let's run those videos.
Are you going crazy managing clients, contracts, and invoices? Kringle Tracker is here to help you. Stay organized with ease. Keep your sanity in check with Kringle Tracker's intuitive tools to effectively manage your schedule and clients. Our seamless, customizable contract system allows you to tailor your contracts to you and your clients' needs. Prepare for tax time like a pro by tracking your income and expenses and generate reports to make it a breeze. Transform your Claws business by signing up for a free 20-day trial. Kringle Tracker was created by a Claws for the Claws community so you can focus on making magical memories for your clients. Head over to kringletracker.com and sign up for your free trial today.
Hey, we made the jump. We're back.
All right. Well, I just want to say hello to a few more people out there. Everett and Dana, hi. How are you? And Carl, always good to hear from you.
Oh, and Joe's on too.
Oh, Joe's on. Blake is on. AJ, I hope you're having a great time in Branson. Looking forward to seeing you hosting the show tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Paul Anderson up in Ontario. Hello. And Bill Gorbit. Santa Chris says, hello, Kringle Brothers. And then we also have Kane Smith saying, good evening from Alabama.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're all over the place here today.
Awesome.
So those are just
someone was from Ontario too.
Oh yeah, we have a couple people from Ontario, and they were talking about the the world the second
the World
Claus Congress up in Niagara Falls. So if you're interested, you can always go on Facebook and look up the Santa Claus Congress. That's always a fun thing to do. It's a great way to actually see Niagara Falls if you've never seen it before.
Yeah, another emergency thing that I love is, and I'll throw this out, Kringle Tracker, because it's a web-based program. All my client information and all of that type of stuff. I can just grab my phone if I'm in a situation and I can pull it up and I have all of their numbers and everything. And I also can take their addresses, click on it, and it's my GPS now to get me out of where I'm at. So, Kringle Tracker is always with me as part of my emergency backup plan to make sure I have got to communicate, to everyone that I need.
But you also bring up another good point. I mean, Kringle Tracker is a great tool. I love Kringle Tracker. but at the same time too is I think you also from an emergency standpoint or a second level, you still want to maybe carry around a physical copy of everything
Oh yeah.
because you never know. I mean, again, we work in snowy, icy conditions, and you could drop your phone and it could break, or you could not have. Oh, did I say something bad?
No, I don't want to jinx it. I've never had that open. Don't
That's why
jinx
we.
me. Now,
That's
if
why
that
we knock
happens
on
to me
wood.
this year, I'm calling you. Well, I'm calling you. I'm not calling you up. I'll write you a snail mail letter and tell you what I think.
You better not want to do that. They just raised the price of stamps to 73 cents again.
Did they really? Oh, yeah, they. All right.
Oh,
Well, I'm
oh,
glad I got all my Christmas and July cards mailed to my clients out before.
yeah, no kidding. But again, though, what's the next list we're going to cover? This is going to be the one about props and
No,
all.
this is my packing list. In other
Okay.
words, what do I want to make sure? I've been on gigs. I mean, I've gone out to a gig and all of a sudden I realized I don't have my belt on.
Well, Bruce Nord forgot his hat.
Oh, Bruce did that, you
Yes.
know. So once you do something like that profound, I mean, there's some things you can forget, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I forgot it. You know what I mean? But your belt, that's iconic. You know what I mean? You can't, you know, that's just a rough gig. So I've got a list, and I'll bring this whole list up. I'll post a different UR code for you, you know, for this list. So I've got my garment bag. So in my garment bag, I got my coat, my shirt, my vest, my pants, suspenders, hat with bling, right? And I have my large Christmas bag. So that goes into my garment bag, okay, that I have for the outfit. Then I've got my Santa boot bag. This is the rest of my stuff for my gig. So this bag, I love this bag because it's just in the back. This is a snowboarder's backpack, and boots are in the back, so I can pull my boots out, right? And then in all the front stuff, I've got my belt, you know, I've got gloves, I've got, you know, my jingle bells, I've got my straps, all of the other things that I use as Santa other than my suit. All of my accessories go into my snowboarding bag. And so that way I can just pick it up and I carry it. So that's all in my Santa boot bag. My magic ring, magic key, hand straps for my jingle bells. And then I've got the personal bag that I showed you a little bit that I have in there. I've got all my cosmetic stuff in there, all of my eye contacts that I wear for performing, all of my makeup, hand mirror, my hairspray, gotta be glued. I like gotta be glued.
Gotta be glued is awesome.
You know, I got a little bit of glitter. I'll put that in there. My makeup remover, toothbrush again, nose hair remover, you know, a little trimmer, you know, I mean, yeah, especially kids, you know, their angles, they look up your
It's
nose.
one of the first places they look up your nose.
You know, I've got a boot polish cloth to clean my boots to make sure that they look the best, especially in Michigan weather with all the salt and the junk. You know, boots can get pretty good. I've got a backup shirt, underwear. This next one I'll throw out, and I'll give credit. This this is from a Stephen Gillum. You know what I mean? Basically, I wear Depends when I perform. Yeah, I know. It's just one of those, I don't need it, but I tell you what, when you're in the suit and all of a sudden you need to relieve yourself, you know, and you're holding it till you can get that break and you accidentally soil yourself just a touch, it's nice to have something that you don't have to worry about it. So I would recommend that. I would recommend Depends. I think Steve and Leon talked about what was that? A studio?
A stadium buddy.
Stadium buddy. Yeah.
Yes, and that was the demonstration was interesting. Let me just put it like that.
I love watching those guys. Oh my gosh. Compression socks. You know, I'm not diabetic, but I find that I really love compression socks. It makes my calves and the bigger boots, you know, a lot better. And a lint roller. And then in my equipment bags, I've got the list of all of the props that I put in different bags. And then I separate props by So I have multiple prop bags. So I've got a big bag that's on rollers, those are all my main props that I want to use. And then what I do, and then I've even got it broke down into, this is what I put in the front pockets, and this is what I put in the back pockets, and those types of things. And then I have a North Pole bag that's labeled North Pole bag, and those are home visits. So I put different gigs in there, because then I also travel with a Showtime table, and what I put in the Showtime table and giveaway stuff that I have, because I carry, when I do assemblies and stuff, I have backdrops, I have all my own sound equipment, and so to make sure that I have batteries and all of those types of things, I mean, it's just, the list goes on, and I find that if I have a good list and I go through it and I get everything set for the season and the year, I don't need anything and things don't happen. It's it's not when I'm not prepared, that's when I need it. So
I think you bring up a good point with a lot of different things too, it's the more things that you bring, the more backups that you bring. I mean, one of the best things that we've learned from various people, Steve Gillum, Leon McBride, Lee Andrews, is, play small, but be really big about it, or pack small, but play big.
yeah.
And again, though, the more things that you use, the more backups you need. I mean, again, for those familiar with Courtney from Red Sled Santa, with the elves that move their heads to make sure that they're charged. So you want to actually have all your charging capabilities. Anything with, thank you, Joe. Pack small, play big. But
I had one of his heads one time. All of a sudden, his head doesn't move.
Right.
Like, he was having a seizure. And
oh, gosh.
And what happens? There's a little screw in the back to having my emergency screwdriver kit, my small for glasses and stuff. I was able to take that screwdriver, tighten the screw in the back of Jinx's, I call him Jinx, his head, and then now he can move again. If I wouldn't have had that with me, I couldn't have used it in the show. The whole thing would have been tossed.
Right. And again, yes, Chris, yes, we do check things twice. We actually check it 3 or 4 times too. Twice before we even put it in the car, and then twice when we get to where we need to go to make sure it all works. So
yes. Yeah, we can use that.
But again, though, you mentioned like backstrap doing assembly. So, you may need, like, say, gaffer's tape. Say you get a small tear in it, or you have to do something like this. There are so many different ways that you have to be able to ensure that the show can go on. Or you have to be willing to bend just a little bit and make quick changes on the fly when you forget a belt, or you forget a hat, or you forget a specific prop. That's a big part of your show for the season.
Yeah. And then, like when I go to schools and I do school assemblies, there's always somebody that wants to help you. There's always a teacher or a principal says, how can I help you, Santa? And we're packing up, and it's nice because I'll hand them a piece of paper and saying, would you make sure that all of these things are in this bag? And then I'll leave them to that bag, and then I'll pack other stuff, that's a little bit more important. But it's nice to have a checklist for those people that want to bless you and to help you, so they can make sure that all that stuff's back into the bag.
Now, Russell Hurd asks, can you find the mechanical elf box? I'm not quite sure what you mean, Russell. If you're talking about the mechanical elves that rise up and down or turn their heads, you would want to go to Red Sled Santa. That's Courtney Lofton's website, and he's the one that actually sells those.
The older version had a box to Jinx
would sit on.
Yeah, there was a box that they would sit on and work, and now they're all independent. I made a little case for that he said on. I'm wondering if Russell's talking about that one.
That's a possibility. But then again, some of the things that we actually created was like this box right here, where, if you open it up, you'll be able to see that this is the elf who can actually rise up and then turn his head. And all we did was just take an elf on the shelf box and kind of alter it a little bit, so we can leave this up on the set, and then utilizing them controls to make him rise up and down and turn his head and have all kinds of fun things that way.
Yeah, because I find when you don't have those charged up batteries and stuff, that they can work partially. Get up, turn it. you know, and then they stay there and it's like, no, get back. I want you down. You know,
Well, again, though, as I said earlier, when it comes to being prepared and it comes to actually having all these backups and all this assistance, there's one thing that we always have to keep in mind. It'll be something we'll discuss in further detail later on, but it's a point about your improvisational skills when something doesn't work or
right.
something breaks and you don't have a backup.
Let me do this. Let me throw it. Here is my event list. So I made it green, one red, so that way you knew they were differently. But here's my event list checklist. So that's this list that I read off a little bit about my bags and what I put in my gig bags, my suits and those. So that list is the QR code to that for you. And once again, like Mike said earlier, if if you have a hard time getting this, if you'll email us, at kringlebrothers2@gmail.com, we'll get you, send you a link to them.
And it's so weird you calling me Michael. I've been knowing Herbie so long that I was like, who are you talking to? I just keep looking around. To me.
Well, yeah, I kind of like calling you Michael.
Well, that's kind of weird because then we call you Michael. Next thing you know is we're going to get M&Ms given to us.
Oh, that would be good. I love a good M&M.
Oh, too. It's like one of my favorites, and it's weird. I'm a big peanut M&M fan.
Right.
Yes, but
we should. Okay. That would be a fun dress up sometime. We go to some Santa school and we get up those M&M costumes. One can be blue and one can be yellow.
Maybe Charles Howard. We can actually do something like that.
Oh, that would be fun.
That could be fun. Maybe that's it. So it looks like some people are actually having the QR code work for them. I do know that we had one individual that says it was a problem printing off because it was, let's see, where was that at? It was in a list format and she was not able to print it. So again, I believe that was Sue. If you are having a problem with that, then just please contact us from the email and we'll get those lists out to you.
Yeah, we'll get it. I thought I'd make the QR code just so you could get them quickly if you wanted to.
Yes.
How about should we do a dad joke?
You want to do a dad joke?
I would like to do a dad joke.
Oh, I was just going to compliment you. I love these QR codes because you got a little Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's my favorite dinosaur. Do you know why? Because he got little arms and dances just like this. Anyway, so let's go ahead and run the dad joke.
Lead into the dad joke.
Santa, how much did you say you spent on the sleigh?
Oh, I didn't spend that much. It was on the house.
Oh, Santa, you are quite the cheeky monkey, aren't you?
That was funny. That was funny.
It was on the house.
It was on the house. Oh, but I like their suits though. That was a pretty nice for being a 4th of July.
Just sent that. And so do me a favor if you could remember to send us a dad joke. If you record it on your phone, make sure your phone is horizontal, not vertical. Put it horizontal. Yes, TikTok, all of that. This is vertical, but for our purposes and what we do and how I format it, please make sure your phone is horizontal. Record a dad joke and send it to us at kringlebrothers2@gmail.com.
Yeah, we always look forward to hearing from you, even ideas for the show or things that you want to talk about or want us to talk about, because we're here for you. Because why, Michael?
Because we're better together.
That's right. We are better together. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to bring the show to you today, because we don't want anybody to be late for a gig, not be able to show up for something, or not be able to fulfill what they were actually hired for because of things that could have been prevented by just having a backup.
So yeah, being prepared is so important. And it's always the small things, don't you find, Michael? It's the small things that make you stand out better.
It is, but again, though, by being able to be prepared, it also shows that you are a professional. And could be one of those things where people are actually going to, when they have to weigh you against, say, maybe somebody else, they're going to remember those times when, you know what, Santa's shirt button popped right off before you went on. But instead of holding that and not being able to do something, he was able to fix it really quickly. Or Mrs. Claus was able to stitch it up really quickly, because I know I can't sew. My thing is Stitch Witch. So
we'll put a plug in for suspenders. Oh my
suspenders
God.
are a must.
Suspenders over belts for Santa, and because the pants are usually baggy, the pants usually have some space and they're not necessarily form fitting, and so they're not like, what are they? They're not the skinny jeans.
Right. But see but I would say those, a lot of Santas with their pants, they usually use like a button, the buttons type suspenders. And is if you don't check those items before the season starts, or even during the season, sometimes those threads begin to wear, and sometimes those buttons pop off right at the most inopportune time. And if you don't have that sewing kit, so maybe something that you want to consider are getting the suspenders with clips. I know Tom Sheeran was actually on here. He joined us this evening, and he told a wonderful story, if I'm not mistaken, how he was at a mall, I believe, and somebody, basically teenagers, of course, wanted to pant Santa, but because of the suspenders, it kind of spoiled the whole thing.
Yeah.
So again, you never know what can happen, how can happen. I know for me, from 2 seasons ago, I was over 300 pounds and I lost 70 pounds. And now I don't want to get new suits. So suspenders have become my best friends, not just my Santa clothes and a lot of my clothes.
Did you see Boris made a comment that Boris does mascot work too, and he was bluey and his pants almost fell off.
And that's why you wear suspenders now.
He's now a big suspender fan. Yeah.
So, but these are some of the things that you have to take in consideration to maintain the performance. And this is one of the reasons why I think we actually put this underneath the performance aspect of our Venn diagram. And what were those concepts again, Michael? What's in the Venn diagram?
Oh, let me grab them. In other words, the heart of a Christmas performer. We've got character development is one chamber of the heart. Costumes and props is another chamber of the heart. We've got performance skills as a chamber of the heart, and our business management. And it takes all 4 chambers working together to create your heart to be magical. And yeah.
But this is
you made me want to rap and go. Sorry, you started this.
That's all right. We could drop a beat here. Okay, take it, Michael.
Bring me on. It was the night before Christmas and all through the house.
And this is how bad we can squirrel in a moment, family and friends. But let's see, what else? What other special items do you keep for an emergency situation? I know for me, driving back and forth to the Great Wolf Lodge from Michigan to Sandusky, Ohio, which is about a 2-hour drive. One of the best things that I love to carry is like protein bars or protein drinks, because you never have an opportunity to actually stop. And I really don't want to actually make something like fast food my primary diet during the season, because it just doesn't let me feel right.
Yeah.
And
I carry a personal cooler, so I'll have like meat sticks in there, different things that I can have. That way I know that I've just got to prep a little bit. A little preparation can go a long way and create, you being much more comfortable,
And again, you want to look for things that actually do have like a long shelf life per se, like, like the protein bars, the protein drinks that don't have to be refrigerated, but they do have a long shelf life to go to. I'm not saying it's all Twinkies now, but those Twinkies are good.
No, don't do
But
that.
those are the important things. And also too is always remember to check. One of the most important things too is your cell phone. Make sure that your battery is strong enough that's holding a charge. Make sure that if people know where you are in case you're supposed to be somewhere and you don't make it, they actually have an idea of where you're at and how you can contact you if necessary.
Hey, Michael, why don't let's have a little bit more fun?
Goody.
I don't know. It might not be the best grammar, but how about our trivia question?
Do you want to do the trivia question right now?
Yeah,
I I thought I would try to make this a little bit difficult here. So here is the question. I'm going to read it first, then I'm going to show it. Then we're going to monitor the chat a little bit to see who can come up with it. So the man who voiced the Grinch in the show How the Grinch Stole Christmas was most famous for portraying which Hollywood monster, and what was his real name? So again, the man who voiced the Grinch in the show How the Grinch Stole Christmas was most famous for portraying which Hollywood monster, and what was his real name?
So monster name.
Well, yeah, monster, and what was the actor's real name?
Real name.
Well, and again, some of the other comments we're getting into while we're kind of looking at it. Gary actually says, I carry meat and cheese roll-ups in a small cooler.
Oh, that's cool.
I
can hang out with you.
Yes, thank you, Bruce. Yes, my beard is coming in kind of nicely. I still look like some kind of Amish person right through here, but you can't really see it. Oh my God, we already got a winner.
We do?
Actually, no. Carl,
No.
you only got half the answer right. And Paul Anderson only got half the answer right. Again,
Now, Carl, though, I think Carl, but you're looking for a different name, not stage name, right?
Boris Karloff was not his real name.
Oh, now they're jumping on the internet. Here we go, real quick.
Exactly. So let's see. Well, AJ, come in and come out there. See, again, everybody knows Boris Karloff and Frankenstein.
Yeah, but
Monster,
Boris was
that's
the stage name. What's his real name?
exactly. That's what I want to know.
So they do have Frankenstein, correct?
Right. Frankenstein is
Oh!
out there. Well, okay. Well, Kathy,
You're
you're
almost
missing
there,
part of
Kathy.
it now.
You're almost there.
Quick, Kathy, add in the second part.
She's going,
Every-
what second part?
Oh,
What
well,
second
you know
part?
what?
Jeff
Jeff
is the
Jeff
same
already
way.
got it. Jeff said Boris Karloff, Frankenstein, and then he came in with William Henry Pratt. So, Jeff, you were the first person to come in with that one.
Oh my, that was a
And
good one. You
he
did
just-
by the real name thing. You did kind of get
Right.
people tonight.
And he just edged out Joe Eady, and he edged out Kane Smith. So, Jeff Ouellette, you are tonight's winner. And with
what
this
does he win?
simple- He wins the opportunity to have his name put into a hat for a drawing to win a scholarship to North Pole Cornerstones in 2025.
Nice. Free scholarship.
So, Jeff, what we're going to do is put your name into the winner's log here. And then this way, you will be our winner for today. Make sure I can spell this right. Perfect.
So
And-
Michael, have you ever had so you've been pretty fortunate not to have drived off to the side of the road or ditch or you've never had a wardrobe malfunction?
Well, no, I won't say I never had that. I was able to basically piece different things together in order to basically come through with it. I mean, I'm you and I both are in agreement with some things. I enjoy wearing the big coat and coming down, but as soon as I have an opportunity to take that off, I take it off. And now I start looking at wearing a lot of cooler things. So I do have different changes and different looks, which basically tends not to have as much wear and tear on my wardrobe.
Now, are you a big bling person? Do you do a lot of bling?
I wear basically I want like something on the hat. And one of my favorites is now it's the Derek Dugan what is
ambassador
it?
pins?
Yeah, the ambassador pins, which is a gorgeous pin. It really looks well with that Santa LLC suit. I really think it looks good on the hat there, especially because it's the Charles W. Howard style.
Right.
But no, I mean, my biggest thing is one of those like the buttons on the shirts. My person who makes a lot of my shirts, he's awesome. The House of Howl is a beautiful, beautiful place to go to. But sometimes I have issues with some of the reindeer buttons. It's like they actually try to run away and leap it to the back up to the North Pole.
Joe Eady says, Herbie, what are you using to bulk up your padding?
I don't bulk up. I just go with me. And then when asked, Santa, you're too skinny. I'm like, well, you know what? Santa is a healthy woodsman. So I'm constantly exercising. I'm looking for wood so I can whittle. I feel like Jed Clampett sitting on the porch of the cement pond. But no, actually, if I do need to actually add actually, if I do need to bulk up, one of the things I learned from Steve Gillum is
Your
a
pregnancy suit, isn't
my
it?
pregnancy belly
Sorry.
and my compression shirt that basically holds everything into play, and I can actually go ahead and pull everything off that way. And it is a wonderful look once you get used to it. But I found, in all honesty, just like missing some hair down through here, um, most children don't notice. And because I'm able to bounce off of walls and carry on this way, people just look at me and go, yes, he is a jolly old elf.
Yeah, I find the longer. I mean, years past, I'd have bling all over the place. I'd
Mhm.
make sure I had bells and this, and I love them all, and I have them in my bag, and I keep them. When kids answer questions, but as wearing them as a constant thing, I find that I do less and less, and at least for me.
Well, even from my grand entrance, I usually come in with a bell strap, and I usually keep a smaller bell strap for like story purposes and stuff like that. Um, but as soon as I have an opportunity to put them down, I put them down. I mean, I had the bell strap last year at Charles Howard, and I almost lost somebody out of the sleigh when they asked to hold on to it. They weren't for
It's
the
just so heavy.
Yes, they weren't familiar with the weight, and when I handed it up to them, they grabbed it and almost fell right on top of me out of the sleigh from
Was that
flight.
Michelle?
That was Michelle.
Oh
So,
my. Poor
so
girl.
yes, so but the thing is, I mean, a lot of people don't realize when you actually are starting to wear the full suit and you're starting to carry in a bag full of toys, there is a lot of weight that's actually involved with all this stuff too.
Yeah.
And that's why again, you do want to maintain your health. You want to maintain basically your flexibility. I mean, it's one thing to be healthy, but if you can't bend down, then you had issues like that.
Yeah.
So,
You
what are some of the things that you do basically, Michael, to keep you well into the season? I mean, just from an emergency not from an emergency standpoint, but actually to avoid any emergencies. I mean, we've talked about physical things like props and car things and suit things and wardrobes, but what about our health?
Well, yeah, I find myself that I need to make sure that I have time to center myself. In other words, meditation time or quiet
Mhm.
listening time, to calm my spirit. And I also, and I do things where, because I get drive time here in northern Michigan, everything, like I said, to drive an hour to a gig is very normal, for me, because there's just, our main street's only 2 blocks long. You could blink it if you miss it.
Well, and that's dominated by the yogurt company too. So,
That's right. And so, I find some music, playing some music in that, and it helps me get ready to get my heart in a spot where I can come in and perform my best.
well, again, for me, like I said, I really owe a lot to Stephen Dead Gillum for the simple fact is of introducing me to a diet that I could actually maintain. It makes me feel good about it. But
Yeah.
because of the weight loss, I'm starting to basically, stretch a little bit more, being able to actually move a little bit quicker. I mean, granted, I didn't have the issue like Carl says. Once I had a grandmother leave a bag of gifts at the door of Santa to carry in that I couldn't lift. It was so heavy.
Oh, wow.
And again, for you, Kane, I agree totally with you. Is in the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," Santa is described as lively and quick, a right jolly old elf. And again, though, it's your interpretation. That's something that we kind of talked about during during character development about what type of Santa that you want to be. And
Yeah.
this is the way that you incorporate it all into it. So very good points. I'm glad you guys are actually bringing this stuff up for us. But again, when we say emergency plan and backup plan, and even too, Joe is talking about the heat factor. I mean, I cannot say anything bad about thermopyro.
Yeah.
Those are probably some of the best of cooling vests that I've actually seen for our industry.
And I find my morning walks, in other words, I'm getting in a routine now where, I'll walk every morning, so that way my endurance is up. You don't have to run, you don't have to do this, but I find that as long as I'm consistently walking, a couple miles in the morning and then increasing it as the season gets closer, that literally just that component, small things. It doesn't take a lot. You don't have to revamp everything, but just small steps, can improve, who you are.
And again, I think another thing that both Michael and I end up doing a lot is after we do a gig or after we are out on the road and we're venturing home, we call each other on the phone.
Yeah,
and we kind of use this time for a mental download, I guess you could say, which basically helps put things in perspective, like what worked, what didn't work. Oh my goodness, I had the most trying visit today, or something along this too. Is so you're not holding everything in and having the weight of some of the major type of visits weigh on you for other performance aspects.
Yeah, golly, our time has gone so quick, Michael.
I know we got about 5 more minutes. So again, just to recap today's show, and I'm so glad everybody joined us today. Please, if you could, let me bring these all up for us. Here is, please follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can find us at the Kringle Brothers and subscribe so you always know when we're getting ready to do a show or going on live. I mean, for those that just are meeting Michael and I, we'd love to talk. We just enjoy it so much, and we enjoy sharing because we believe we are better together.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to, you can also email us at kringlebrothers2@gmail.com. But to recap today's episode is always think like a Boy Scout or a Cub Scout. Thanks, Bruce.
Yes.
By maintaining
motto, be prepared.
Right. Utilize these lists not as
they're not Bibles. They're not.
Right.
They're what do they call in Pirates of the Caribbean? It's just parlay. It's
Yes.
kind of guidelines.
This is just something to help you jump off because every Christmas performer does something different. And this just gives you the ability to see what some of the other Santas are doing and allows you to create your own checklist and your own emergency kits.
Yeah, because not everybody needs sound equipment like I do in the assemblies and some of the things that I offer. You know what I mean? But it's just, I would rather have something and not need it than need something and not have it.
Exactly. Now, Michael, what do we got for next week's show?
Suits.
We're going to talk about suits and boots and all kinds of fun things.
So a little bit more of the costumes and the props and suits and what you use and what I use and how many suits you have and the wardrobes that you've got and maybe we could throw out some suggestions on some places where you can get suit. I know for me, and this is just back to me, there's a lot of the stuff that I do for my suit and what I do because it makes me feel special. For the child, I don't think the child really notices or cares, kind of thing. But I know if I feel special in it, then I perform better.
And if you'd like to, and if you want to encourage, send photos of you in your suit or Mrs. Claus wearing your best, or maybe maybe what your elves wear, and maybe we'll put together like a little slideshow type thing, just so everybody can get an idea of the different tastes and the different bling that people put on their suits for each other.
Nice. I like it. Like that, like with Santa Doug's, and Jenny's, it's like that patriotic suit that would be fun.
Now, I would much rather wear something like that to do a 4th of July parade or a Christmas in July event than having to put on the full suit.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. I love what he had.
But again, when we discuss suits and wardrobes, it's not just going to be just what Santa wears for just at Christmas. But it's some alternative looks to maybe as a Christmas July event or just a workshop event. I mean, I know Michael and I do cookies with Santa, and we both have chef's coats and hats that we wear as well. And it's a point of just fitting into the theme of the entire show. So again, if you like to, don't forget, we have like 10 comments up here. And let's see here. A lot of thank yous. My new suit will be here soon. I'm so excited from Boris. Sue says, thank you. Great show. Bruce says, love you, brothers. Jason Freeman says, hello, guys. Kane Smith said, indeed, another fantastic show. I'm a low-key home prepper, and I love these lists. Everyone have a safe and terrific night. Oh, and my missus is sewing me my first custom suit right now from Chris Elzinga. Well, Chris, we can't wait to see it. Even if you got partial pieces together, we'd love to see it itself.
Well, not modeling. Don't model partial.
Model.
Just make sure you've got
Make
all
sure you're fully clothed.
model. We don't want no partial pieces modeling.
But you know what time it is, Michael?
Well, it's unfortunately it's time to say good night.
It is.
So, everyone, all right, blessings everyone to you, and thanks for watching, and may your life be filled with encouragement, laughter, and fellowship.
And may you find the magic in every smile you inspire, and always live with a heart full of Christmas. Remember, we are
better together. All
Thank
right,
you so much,
everybody.
everyone. Good night.
Hey, look.
There's still people here.
Well, in that case, let's do a dad joke.
Okay, what's your dad
there's
joke?
A politician, a pastor, Santa Claus, two elves, Stephen Gillum, and Santa Sal all walk into a bar. What do they talk about?
Is it in Milwaukee?
Well, it could even be in New Jersey too. They all talk about Kringle time. They love the Kringle brothers.
Yes, they do. And we're so glad to have everybody. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Oh, yes, of course. We do have post-credit scenes. It's great. Love you all. Can't wait to meet you all in person.